visited in the past by extraterrestrial beings? What if it were true? Did ancient aliens really help to shape our history? And if so, might they have arrived here through stargates? Pamukkale, Turkey. Here, 200 miles south of Istanbul, lie the ruins of Hierapolis, an ancient city that served as a sacred site to the Phrygians in the 3rd century BC. In March 2013, Italian archaeologists announced that they had unearthed something the ancient Greeks described as a gateway to hell.
The ancients in Greece and Roman civilizations had a fascination with the underworld, the realm of Hades and Pluto. There were many stories of travelers who were able to transit into these unseen realms. To go to the land of the dead and survive was a great miracle showing great heroism.
According to the accounts of Greek geographer Strabo, this cave, now partially bricked up, was known as Plutonium, or Pluto's Gate, for the god of the underworld. It was considered so sacred that only cult priests were allowed near it. These priests worshipped a powerful goddess known as Cybele.
Cybele started out as a goddess that was important in Asia Minor and then spread west into Greece and Rome. She is known as the guardian of the gateways. You would have to get Cybele's permission to move through time and space. Iconographically, she's often portrayed as standing next to the gate to the otherworld. The realm of the gods has always fascinated humans because it is imagined as being very different from our own realm. And so humans have always sought a way to enter the realm of the gods, to have those ecstatic experiences that happen when you are in communication with the deity.
Legends from around the world describe sacred entryways similar to Pluto's Gate that led to the land of the gods. In many cases, these gates not only provided instant passage outside the confines of Earth, but even beyond space and time. And according to some myths, they were traversed by otherworldly beings. Throughout the ancient world, we're presented with stories of advanced beings who came from the stars, star beings. In many of these instances, they are described as passing through portals or star doors. The term we use today is stargate. A stargate is a place that allows transportation to another planet or somewhere out in the stars. There have been a number of locations across the planet where it's been felt that the ancients built stargates. Are such passages, or stargates, just the product of our ancestors' imaginations? Or might this kind of interstellar travel have actually existed in the ancient world? If so, who or what created such advanced technology thousands of years ago? Some ancient astronaut theorists believe more clues can be found in the descriptions of the elaborate rituals that took place at the Turkish Plutonium.
It was a great spectacle when the priests of Cybele would do
observations have revealed that in fact there are vapors rising from the ground at the site that contain poisonous levels of carbon dioxide and other gases capable of killing anyone or anything that breathes them in.
The ancient stories said that animals that came anywhere near this would drop down dead, and the same still occurs today. Any birds going near it fall down dead.
If the toxins within the cave were potent enough to kill a bull, how did the priests survive this ritual? Is it possible, as some ancient astronaut theorists believe, that the priests had received secret knowledge, and perhaps even access to a stargate from an otherworldly being known as Sibylle?
In Pamukkale, Turkey, this does appear to be a preserved record of a possible Stargate technology that is being used. As these special priests were able to go into this area, they may have been traveling through some sort of energetic portal that gave them the ability to reach some other location that was completely different from where people normally were going if they walked into this area.
They have to wonder if there was something secret in this cave that they were hiding, perhaps some kind of interdimensional Stargate technology, and that they would put on the show to basically frighten them, make sure that they realized this cave was a forbidden place to go into, and in fact was some kind of repository for alien technology and possibly Stargates.
Could the plutonium really be an extraterrestrial stargate? One that was protected by priests in order to dissuade others from approaching it? And if so, why? Perhaps the answer can be found at another ancient site more than 7,000 miles away. Machu Picchu, Peru. Approximately 50 miles northwest of Cusco, nestled high up in the Andes Mountains. These ancient Inca ruins, believed to have been a palace complex, date back to the 15th century. Located in the southwestern corner of what archaeologists contend was the site's main plaza, is the Temple of Three Windows. A stone hall 35 feet long and 14 feet wide, containing three trapezoidal windows along one wall.
Textbooks say that the windows of the Temple of the Three Windows are aligned perfectly to let June solstice sunrise come right in at a perfect angle. The entire building is oriented to receive the first light as it comes over the mountains through those three windows at summer solstice.
Some scholars believe the three windows symbolize the Incan creation myth. According to legend, the children of the sun god Viracocha stepped into the world through three mysterious openings in a mountain and gave rise to the Incan civilization.
In the creation story of the Incan people, the children of the sun, the air burners, came down through three portals, three windows to begin the Incan people. The temple at Machu Picchu with three windows is said to represent this miraculous event.
These brothers were the offspring of the god Viracocha that seemed to have brought the first wisdom and knowledge and rudiments of civilization to the peoples of South America. And by simply looking through these three windows, the mind could reach out and connect once more with these gods and communicate with them.
Some ancient astronaut theorists believe the Incan creation story may be more than simply mythology. They believe it could be a description of stargate travel taking place thousands of years ago.
You read this story, you're instantly thinking that this is some kind of a stargate they're describing, and then these children of the sun, these advanced solar beings, possess some kind of stargate technology
spoken language, all of the aspects of civilization, and used a Stargate portal technology on the side of a mountain to get there.
Was the great Inca Empire actually created by extraterrestrials that traveled to Earth through a so-called Stargate? And might that explain why ancient sites like the Plutonium were so highly guarded? Perhaps the answer has already been discovered, not in the ancient world, but by modern science. Princeton, New Jersey, July 1935. While collaborating at the Institute for Advanced Study, physicists Albert Einstein and Nathan Rosen publish a groundbreaking idea. They come to the conclusion that the theory of relativity actually allows for shortcuts across the space-time continuum. These paths, called Einstein-Rosen bridges, more commonly known as wormholes, connect two distant locations, making travel to the most remote stars in the universe a possibility.
What you're talking about is a structure in space that involves very, very strong bending of space and the connecting of two different parts of space. So you think of a piece of paper curved around and then punched out and connected from one place to the other. That's your basic wormhole.
If we look at the distance from our planet to the nearest star system, it's 4.2 light years away. That means you would have to travel for 4.2 years at the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles a second, just to get there. The only way really to do that would be by something like a wormhole.
While the idea of wormhole travel offers incredible possibilities, realizing this technology poses immense challenges. Scientists estimate that creating a traversable wormhole would require a far greater amount of energy than anything we can produce today. But there is a theory that so-called exotic matter may provide the key to unlocking wormhole travel.
What you need is matter with negative mass. And we're only aware of matter with positive mass, so we call this exotic matter. Not that it couldn't exist, we're just not aware of it yet. The bottom line is it takes huge amounts of energy to create. Imagine taking all of Jupiter now, its entire mass, and converting that to energy. You know, you're talking millions and millions of times more energy than they have in a nuclear bomb.
Although most scientists say that we're a long way from developing the technology to create wormholes, if such a thing is even possible at all, there are those who believe these celestial shortcuts already exist. In 1991, scientists at Vanderbilt University proposed that the chaos of the Big Bang not only created the universe, but also may have caused the formation of many wormholes billions of years ago.
During the Big Bang, space-time itself was being mashed together, expanded, contracted. And one theory says that if you had something like the size of the Himalaya Mountains, the space-time around it could have been so badly stressed that it would mash this matter inside its own event horizon. In the same way, you can imagine space-time being mashed together and forming a mini wormhole.
The possible result, according to researchers, would be a wormhole about the size of an atom. Once located, these mini wormholes could possibly be stretched to create a traversable wormhole.
One of the things we know is that since the Big Bang, the universe has been expanding, which means space-time overall has been stretching. So when the universe is quite small, you make a teeny little wormhole. As the whole structure stretches, the whole wormhole stretches and grows big as well. So you could end up with a very large wormhole now.
If wormholes were created in the earliest stages of the universe, is it possible, as some ancient astronaut theorists suggest, that celestial civilization declined and mysteriously disappeared by the 16th century. While no one knows exactly who the inhabitants of Bakime were, it is believed that their descendants may be the indigenous people of the region, known as the Tarahumara. The Tarahumara now live high up in the canyons of the Sierra Madre, and much of what is known about the ancient city of Bakime comes from the stories passed down to them from their ancestors. According to their legends, Bakime is a sacred place where star people have appeared for centuries. Described as light, tall, and blonde, the Tarahumara say these mysterious beings emerged from doorways in the ruins.
The Tarahumara truly believe that the Star People exist still today in the Chihuahua Desert. They believe that these tall, blonde people represent maybe the heirs of the Star People that first brought them to this world. They believe that there is a portal, and that these Star People use this portal today to transport to various places on the Earth and off-world as well.
Throughout the architecture of Bakime are hundreds of uniquely T-shaped openings. Openings that closely resemble an ancient doorway more than 4,000 miles away in southern Peru. Here, perched high in the Andes Mountains, this shallow T-shaped opening, called the Doorway of Amaru Muru, is surrounded by many legends describing it as an active portal that transports beings both into and out of this world.
This could be a coincidence if it weren't for the fact that at Paquini there are strange stories of the appearance of these Caucasian-like beings. And there are very similar stories to do with this Gate of the Gods in Peru.
It's possible that this does represent a Stargate location, which extraterrestrial humans are seen as coming and going during certain opportune points in the year when the Stargate becomes active.
Considering the similar doorways and legends